All right, it is time for our first page readings of October TBR. Hey everyone, it's Shannon. I'm really excited to be here today to share again some of my first page, some of my October TBR by reading the first page aloud of some of the titles. And this I started last month. Oops. Okay, well, we'll just get the October up there, and that'll be our theme. I started this last month, and I had a really good time with it. I really enjoyed sharing the choices and also reading aloud. And with the slowathon in September, it really, I don't know, this sort of engaging with books in a different way, in a deeper way, is really appealing to me. So I'm going to go with that energy and keep on going. So I've picked out some titles for this month. I don't always, I love the idea of reading seasonally, like getting into the spirit of things, and I don't have a lot of success of it, to be honest, especially with summer reads. I just don't get it. But in October, I get it. Like, I understand at least what you're supposed to do. Read scary, spooky, supernatural, eerie stuff. And I do try and do that. I've been successful at about one title per October for the past couple of years, so maybe this year I'll get more than one title in. I'll show you what I am going to read aloud from, and I'll also leave in the description below a link to where that reading begins, just in case you want to see one but not the others. So I picked three again this month. First up, I have Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Where's her name? Oh, there it is. Wow, I can barely see it. Rebecca. I've seen the movie for this one and loved it, but it's been many years, and I've wanted to read this for a long time. I actually bought this on Amazon semi recently. It's one of the few books I felt like I don't know if there wasn't a Kindle version or what, but I needed it in physical copy for some reason. I just needed it. So there we go. We're going to start with that. And then I also am going to read a poem, which will be intimidating, an Edgar Allan Poe collection of poetry. I picked one to read. And then a little bit lighter, I'm going to read Her Halloween Treat by Tiffany Rice. This is on my Kobo. It is a Harlequin, so it is a romance novel. So just a little, hopefully a bunch of different kind of vibes, but we're going to start things off with Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca. 1. Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again. It seemed to me I stood by the iron gate leading to the drive, and for a while I could not enter, for the way was barred to me. There was a padlock and a chain upon the gate. I called out in my dream to the lodge-keeper, and had no answer. And peering closer through the rusted spokes of the gate, I saw that the lodge was uninhabited. No smoke came from the chimney, and the little lattice window gaped forlorn. Then, like all dreamers, I was possessed of a sudden with supernatural powers and passed like a spirit through the barrier before me. The drive wound away in front of me, twisting and turning as it had always done. But as I advanced, I was aware of a change had come upon it. It was narrow and unkempt, not the drive we had known. At first I was puzzled and did not understand, and it was only when I bent my head to avoid a low swinging branch of a tree that I realized what had happened. Nature had come into her own again, and, little by little, in her stealthy, insidious way, had encroached upon the drive with long, tenacious fingers. The woods, always a menace even in the past, had triumphed in the end. They crowded, dark and uncontrolled, to the borders of the drive. The beeches, with white naked limbs, leaned close to one another, their branches intermingled with the strange embrace, making a vault above my head, like an archway of a church. And there were other trees as well, trees I did not recognize, squat oaks and tortured elms that straggled cheek by jowl with the beeches, and had thrust themselves out of the quiet earth, along with the monster shrubs and plants, none of which I remembered. It's definitely creepy. And next we go on to a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. I actually decided to pick one in the middle, so this isn't the first page, but I felt I wanted one that was thematic, so I picked Annabel Lee. Annabel Lee. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. And we loved with a love there was that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, when envying her and me, yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of a cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, and far wiser than we, that neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, could ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of a beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of my beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in the sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the surrounding sea. Ooh, I love that one. I wonder, I feel like I have a vague awareness of it, but I don't remember, I don't read a lot of poetry, so I don't know where I would have heard it, other than like a Nick Cave song or something like that. Alright, now we go on to something a little lighter with Her Halloween Treat by Tiffany Rice, and this one is a little not safe for work. Just a little. Just one swear word, if that bothers you. So here we go. Her Halloween Treat. 1. She wanted to blame her parents for naming her Jolene. Who did that? Who named their daughter after the most notorious other woman in country music? Once she learned who she was named after, Jolene became Joey, and there was no going back. And yet just 2 days ago, she'd learned the ugliest truth of her life. She'd been sleeping with a married man. For 2 years. Joey sighed and reached under her sunglasses to wipe a tear from her eye. Joe? Sorry, Joey said. You don't have to be sorry, babe. Kira reached over and squeezed her knee. We're almost at LAX. You need to stop somewhere? Joey shook her head. Keep driving. The sooner I'm out of here, the better. Thanks for getting me. I can kill Ben for you. I'm willing to kill Ben. In fact, I might even do it if you don't want me to. When Joey laughed, it felt odd, and she realized it was the first time she'd laughed in over 36 hours. Isn't murder maybe overdoing it? Joey asked. Overdoing it? That piece of shit slept with you in Honolulu and then his wife in LA, and at no point in the 2 years did he ever tell her about you or you about her? Is that what happened, right? I didn't make that up? No, that's right. And it's not murder. It's justifiable homicide. And don't argue with me when you know I'm right. You know I am. Joey didn't argue. She couldn't because it was all true. For 2 years, Ben had been her boyfriend. They had worked together, they had played together, they had slept together. She believed him when he told her how much he hated living in LA, how he treasured her time with her in Hawaii, how he'd move there permanently if he could, but work wouldn't let him. Blah, blah, blah. Lies, all of it. Lies she believed, which is why she routed her flight to LA so she could surprise him. And surprise him she did. She knocked on his door and his wife answered. Quite a surprise for all of them. So, murder? Kira asks. And it's more lighthearted than that. It's not a thriller by any means. I think it's more of just a fun contemporary romance. And I did read ahead just a little bit because that really, really piqued my interest, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So those are 3 of my holiday Halloween-y treats. My Halloween TBR, my October TBR. I'm really looking forward to all 3 of these. The poetry, I don't read a lot of poetry, and I felt like this was a good time to give that a shot. You know, poems aren't that long, and this month is going to be a bit crazy, so I thought it would be fun. And reading it was very intimidating, so I hope that went over okay. And let me know, have you read any of these? Are you looking to read any of these? This one just came out. This one is a Harlequin that just came out for this month, and I just felt like something a little lighter, so I thought I'd throw that into the mix. The cover's great. I'm so sad that you can't see the cover on my Kobo for some reason. It doesn't show up. Usually in sleep mode they do, but this one didn't do it. So those are my choices for my October TBR. What are you planning on reading this month that's got a bit of a spooky vibe to it? I would love to hear. Alright, thanks so much for watching.